Satchidananda-rupaya Vishvotpatyadi-hetave Tapatraya-vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Janmadyasya yatonvayaditaratascharteshvabhignaswarat Tene brahmahridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah Tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi Dharma projita ketavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastava matra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Vaparerishwaraha Sadyo Hridya Varudyate Trakritibihi Shushrushubi Tatkshanat. Hariom and greetings from Niagara Falls. This morning on our social media, I posted a rad from Sri Ramakrishna. Please listen carefully. Divine love is an end in itself. It exists potentially in all human hearts, but in the case of bound creatures, it is misdirected to earthly objects. I'll distill that into bhakti is the end. Everyone has the potential to be a bhakta. We are creatures of habit, though. We don't love what lives inside of us. We love what lives outside of us. Vedanta and Bhagavata is a training to grow out of being bound and to grow into being a bhakta. If you love what's outside of you, you get bound. If you love what's inside of you, one becomes a bhakta. I hope this is clear for all of us. Today, we complete our 138th hour of Vedanta and Bhagavata. After today, we will only have 30 more hours of Vedanta and Bhagavata to complete a week of hours of this study. There are many here, I speak to you regularly, who have studied different Advaita Vedanta scriptures, like Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Panchadashi, etc. In all of these texts, one of the beginning messages is about the sadhana chatushtaya. Have you all heard this before? You have. The sadhana chatushtaya, which really means the qualifications that are needed to follow the path. In other words, the sadhana chatushtaya is a prerequisite to reaching the sadhya. Sadhya means ends, enlightenment, joy. The same message is being shared in Bhagavatam. For the majority of the hours of our course, this has been about Bhagavan Krishna's life. why he was to take up being an avatara, what he did as an avatara. The portion that we're now in is shifting from his life to his teachings. Rishi Uddhava, he wants to know, how will dharma succeed without you? And Bhagavan Krishna shares with him, direct the mind. What confuses us about dharma, our responsibilities, is our own mind. Likes and dislikes and so on. He shares to direct the mind. In technical Vedanta, this is called samadhi. Sam means well, a means towards, and dhi means place. The mind should be well towards place, Bhagavan Krishna, or the spirit. Zooming into this more, we think we live in the outer world, but I hope you're practicing being reflective enough to know that we live in our inner world. This morning, there was a lot of moving parts in our home. I'm here with Shuka, Sheila's with Vyasa. I'm praying for Argentina. I was supposed to be in Cleveland, final Bhagavata class, etc. And so I had to move the car seat from the Honda CR-V to the Honda Civic. And I had just kind of gotten ready. I was just in my kurta, and it was cold outside, but I didn't feel cold. Why? My body felt the cold, but my mind did not. Where am I living? Not in the physical world. I am living in my mental world. We call this the antakarana, the inner world. When our inner world is projecting, that is called vikshepa, and it is when the mind is dominating. Now, what to do when I'm living this life of projection and just lost in overthinking? The counter to projecting is reflecting. That is not vikshepa, rather that's vichara. And that is when the intellect dominates. In the Bhagavad Gita, we see a lovely shift from the mind dominating to the intellect dominating. I'm describing all of this because this is what Bhagavan Krishna shares with Rishi Uddhava, and then gives him an analogy. He gives him a visual. He shares with him about Rishi Dattatreya, one who is most reflective, ever engaged in vichara, learning from his own intellect. And what did he learn? I'm now reviewing all 23 of our directions of learning. Number 1, the earth. Our practice, forgive. Number 2, air. Our practice, purify. Number 3, fire. Our practice, absorb. Number 4, water. Our practice, refresh. Number 5, space. Our practice, accept. Number 6, moon. Our practice, observe. Number 7, sun. Our practice, share. Number 8, dove. Our practice, serve. Number 9, python. Our practice, quieted. Number 10, ocean. Our practice, deepen. Number 11, moth. Our practice, appreciate. Number 12, honeybee. Our practice, learn. Number 13, elephant. Our practice, move. Number 14, honey gatherer. Our practice, commit. Number 15, deer. Our practice, inquire. Just playing on deer here. So I call Sheila deer. I just call her deer, not Sheila deer. So whenever Shuka really wants something, he'll say deer. See how shady kids are? But it also shows how much they are looking and listening, correct? Whenever he says that, it always, shocks me that how manipulative he is. That his IQ is going up. Where is his EQ? So deer. 16 is fish. Our practice, exercise. 17, courtesan. Our practice, associate. Number 18, osprey. Our practice, simplify. 19, teenager. Our practice, seclude. Now zooming into the last 4 a little bit more based on our previous class. Number 20 is Aerosmith. And our practice is unitask. When one is absorbed, like earlier I described samadhi, you know what that feeling is like? It's where you shift from the article to awareness. Imagine Vivek is so contemplative on this pencil, which is an article. But as I become more authentic and deep, it's no longer about the article, it's about I'm feeling awareness then. Can you all relate to that? You can. I know you've had such experiences. And if you haven't, I had shared this in the short talk yesterday on spirituality and focus. Practice unitasking in a restroom. Every time you go into a restroom, whether it's at an ashram, your home, etc., visualize that there's a force field around there where you can't think of anything else but what's happening in that restroom. As clean or dirty as it is, just think about what's happening in that restroom. Combing your hair, wiping the counter. Then you'll start to do it while you eat, drive. Imagine unitasking while speaking. You will be a powerful public speaker. Imagine unitasking in Vedanta and Bhagavata class as a student. What article? There will only be awareness then. The 21st way to learn, a snake. A snake. Our practice is utilize. And Rishi Dattatreya specifies, he identifies our homes, but really he is generalizing this. All that is uncertain, why invest in that? All that is uncertain, why invest in that? Now expand this to people. If you're around people who are undependable, the more you invest in them, the more disappointed you'll be. Obviously. And he also shares in reference to our home and really anything that's material, you're going to leave it here. If Vivek dies, do you think I'm taking Chinmaya with me? All I'm taking with me is dharma, which is immaterial. So shift your investment. 22, spider. 22 is spider. Our practice is release. And I had read out how a spider's web comes from a spider. The spider stays in that web and then retracts that web. For us to try to feel that from the creator has come creation, and this creation will go back to the creator. And the point is that we are always living with and in the creator. This web has come from the creator. The creator's in this web. And we will go back to the creator. One more thought relating to this, because a lot of it had to do with time. And this will actually be your RAM. I'm telling you your RAM in advance. All of your timekeeping devices, I would like for you to keep an image of Bhagavan near that time. So suppose you have an alarm clock. You know what I asked from Sheila for Christmas last night? I'd said, you know what I want for Christmas? I said, I want an alarm clock. I said, I don't like using my phone as an alarm clock. I want one of those old school alarm clocks that I can plug into the wall. You know, with the green lights, those old vomit green lettering. That's what I want for Christmas. And so can you all see that alarm clock? You've all seen that? Yes, and many of you still have that. So I want you to put an image, like at our altar, we have Hanumanji there. So put Hanumanji there. Put Hanumanji there, because the idea is we are slaves to time, but to reflect that time has a master. That master is Bhagavan, correct? So then you start to feel that instead of being a slave to time, that time is actually an expression of Bhagavan. Okay? So even, you know, your phone. So my phone is right there, correct? So I should like cover it up with an image over there of Bhagavan Krishna as an example. And 23, insect. Insect. Our practices model. Every one of us has listened to this many times. What is the first step towards self-development? Satsanga. Yes. When you're engaged in satsanga, you see how you're sangaing to sat. This is how you get connected to the truth. Model. And one more thought before we get to our final area of learning. Do you remember before, and I'm projecting almost everyone is vaccinated. Do you remember before you were vaccinated for COVID? Do you remember how careful you were with interacting with people? Do you? We've had people who came to our home who we didn't know that they interacted with people we don't know, and we've told them to leave. Our kids are, at that time, were not vaccinated. This is a matter of really life and death for them. So we didn't care if people liked us or didn't like us. We were very careful about our company, as everyone was, correct? Now that's just for a virus. And you know how serious this virus is, but it's just for a virus. The mind and negativity is exponentially more impactful. Be careful of your company. Number 24, the final of Rishi Dattatraya's observations. Point to me. What is his 24th teacher? The body. The body, his own body, is the 24th teacher. In Sanskrit, this is called deha. Deha. What's really fascinating about this, the word deha means that which burns. That which burns. From the time we were born, what was happening to the body? It was burning away. Hair cells, skin cells. Life is a terminal condition, correct? No one here cannot not die. I hope that double negative worked. You get my point. There's a long verse relating to this. I'm just going to read a portion. The 11th section. We're in the 9th chapter. Today, we're going to finish chapter 9. This is the 25th verse. I'm just reading the beginning. 11:9:25. Deha guruhu mama virakti viveka hetuhu. Deha means body. Guru. The body guided, but whose body? Mama. My body guided. Guided what? Virakti, which means independence. And viveka, which means prioritization. Hetuhu. This was the cause for that. If I had more time, I would read a lot of these details for you. I'm just going to read one of these paragraphs. Please try to read it yourself. This goes on from paragraphs 25 to 29, verses 25 to 29. I'm just reading verse 28 in English. In the early stages of the creative cycle, the Lord brought into existence by his power various types of beings, trees, serpents, animals, birds, insects, fish. Not being satisfied with any of these forms, he felt pleased when he brought into existence the human body, endowed with the type of intelligence suited for understanding Brahman, the supreme being. Only you. Imagine Vivek coming through the screen and holding onto your cheeks. Only you can feel Bhagavan Krishna. Animals cannot, plants cannot, stones cannot. So if you're not working towards this, then maybe it's an insult to call yourself a human. That's all shared in these teachings. Here is our practice. The practice is sacrifice. Use this body in a dedicated way, so much so that you don't even know that this body is being sacrificed. But if you're always feeling that you should be dedicated to the body, as it gets older, you feel miserable. When you're not comfortable, you can never tune into the big picture. I donate my blood every 8 weeks, and they put a big needle in you. This is not a needle going in. This is a needle that's taking out. So they put a big needle in my arm, and it's not pleasant. But the entire time, I'm chanting Om Namo Narayanaya, and if I'm distracted, I'll be thinking, Vivek, you're doing this to help people who don't have a healthy body like you do. Right now, I have a healthy body. I'm doing it for them. And so it makes the pain less. It makes the pain less. One more reflection on this is, those who are practicing sacrifice, you come to have the right relationship with the body, that the body is yours, it is not you. If you are clear that the body is yours, it can't be you then. And now the end of the chapter, the end of this section. in verse 30, Rishi Dattatreya shares with Raja Yadu, having learned in this way, I am free. I have no sense of agency, so no sense of attachment. I'm not the doer. I'm not the deserver. I am free. In verse 31, he shares, one must have a Sadguru. One must have this personal guide. And if this personal guide is righteous, is noble, they will encourage you to have many upagurus. The upaguru means shady gurus, side gurus. What it means is your Sadguru will teach you to learn from every experience. In verse 32, then Raja Yadu offers his reverence to Rishi Dattatreya. And please visualize this. Raja Yadu has indescribable pleasure, possession, position. But who is he offering his reverence to? The one who has none of that, but he has indescribable peace. He offers his reverence, and then Rishi Dattatreya keeps moving. And the detail is so lovely. What is shared is, by chance, Raja Yadu happened to meet Rishi Dattatreya, and now Rishi Dattatreya is continuing on. No purpose, no path. He's peaceful. But by chance, we know that to be a lie. Bhagavan Krishna brought Raja Yadu and Rishi Dattatreya together. Bhagavan Krishna has brought all of us together, yes? As much as you wish he didn't, he did, okay? Be happy about it. And now the final verse of chapter 9 of section 11. Avaduta vachas shrutva purvesham nasa purvajaha sarva sanga vinirmuktaha samachitto bhabhuvaha. Bhagavan Krishna shares to Rishi Uddhava. I've kind of oriented you to that many times. Avaduta vachaha shrutva. Raja Yadu, having listened to the words of Rishi Dattatreya, Purvesham Nasa Purvajaha, Raja Yadu is one of our forefathers. From Raja Yadu came the Yadavas. Who is a Yadava? Bhagavan Krishna. Sarva Sanga Vinirmuktaha, Raja Yadu became free of all attachments. The further implication, all agency. The notion of I-ness and my-ness. Samachitta bhabhuvaha. Indeed, bhabhuva, he started to feel samachitta. His mind became silent. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai.